to Travolting, covering our friend Martin. Enjoy the episode.
So, Jeff.
So, Stuart.
I had a dream last night.
You had a dream?
Yes.
What was your dream?
That I was stuck recording all these fucking podcast episodes with you, and I was never able to leave. And listen, folks, I know nobody actually knows this because we're releasing all these episodes sequentially from each other. But this is a third. This is the third of 3 episodes we recorded all in one night. I have been at Jeff's apartment since.
For like 5 hours.
For like 5 hours. And I am never leaving.
Yes.
Do you like that, by the way?
I
Notice how I say I had a dream last night and you thought I was going to go with a Martin Luther King reference and I didn't? And you know why you thought I was going to go with Martin Luther King reference?
Because we're covering our friend Martin.
Our friend Martin.
A classic of middle school that, as we mentioned at the end of last week's episode on a civil action, a lot of our listeners probably remember the librarian or your teacher pulling out the box TV on the rolling cart, rolling it to the front of the classroom, popping the VHS out, putting it in. Maybe you had to rewind because the previous person wasn't kind. Rolling it back to the beginning of our friend Martin having a really good history class.
Yeah, and it was something that I wanted to say. So this actually did happen to me when I was in 4th grade. We watched this movie in 4th grade. I rewatched it for this podcast, and it took me a while to realize, oh, yeah, we did watch this movie. This before. I've seen this before. My roommates were passing by as I was watching this. I'm like, wait, did I see this before? I'm like, you probably have in middle school, man.
This might be one of the most viewed movies we've covered.
And I hate to start off with some ill will.
Yeah.
But this was the absolute best white people uncomfortable talking about racism movie.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's what they showed a lot of like white kids in schools.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I went to school in Huntington, Indiana, Northeast region. We had no black kids at all white.
Yes.
No black teachers, all white. No black staff, all white. And this was a movie that they showed us. And watching this now, it's like, God, yeah, this is much easier than actually teaching about racism in our history. I'm like, let's see, curriculum, racism. You still got our friend Martin in the basement? Yeah, we do. Okay, we'll mark that. Check that one off.
And I think this is a very good movie for schools in teaching the lessons of Martin Luther King and the history of it. But like you said, if schools, like you experienced, use this in lieu of a discussion about racism.
And that was my experience.
This movie can sell the idea of like there was racism, and then Martin Luther King got rid of it, and now we live
happily ever after.
And now we live in a post-racism society.
That doesn't exist anymore. It's a relic of the past.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
But this
movie was made with great. This is not a knack on the movie, by the way.
Yes, this movie was made with great intentions, and this movie accomplished those intentions.
Yeah,
it won an Emmy for outstanding children's programming.
Yeah,
and I think in that view, it's a great way of continuing the education of Martin Luther King.
Yeah,
it just has to be coupled with something else as you get older.
Yeah,
which some schools use this in lieu of teaching.
Yes,
this should be a conversation starter, not a conversation closer.
100% agree, Jeff.
Yeah,
and I think that's a great thing to just lay down the groundwork before we get into the movie itself. Is that,
and then a lot of our answers probably like, okay, that's great and all, but why are you covering this movie?
Why are we covering this movie, Jeff?
Because John Travolta has 3 lines in it.
Yep. And who does he play?
He plays the racist kid's dad.
The racist kid's dad.
Yes.
Who smokes in this movie.
Yes.
Like the animation that he voiced smokes in this movie, and he's blonde.
Yes.
He's very thin.
Yes. All the things Travolta's not.
Oh, yeah.
We love you, John.
We love him very much.
But this whole thing has an all-star voice cast.
Yeah. It seems like one of those things where it's like their agent kind of reached out to them and they're like, hey, so
this would be a great thing to be a part of.
This wasn't a PBS produced thing, was it?
This was 20th Century Fox.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. It aired on, it was a CBS like Fox video thing. And then it was distributed to a lot of classrooms.
Okay.
For the purposes of being a conversation starter.
Yeah, so I definitely think this definitely feels like that type of movie where it's like, you know, you get your phone call from your agent. It's like, hey, John, so my you know, our buddy Billy over at 20th Century Fox is doing this like movie about a little children's film.
Yeah.
It's gonna be educational Martin Luther King. We're getting a lot of people doing it.
Yeah, we want to get a bunch of folks.
We want to get a bunch of folks in. You'd have like 3 lines coming for one day of recording for like maybe 2 hours at most. You know, if it's something you want to do, I'll give him a call. Like, all right, I'll do it.
I'll do that.
Versus the other phone call.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, John, remember when you did White Man's Burden? You want to redeem?
You want to atone for that?
Oh God!
He's like, yeah, it's probably atone.
You
Probably
know,
work on that one.
out of both of these movies that address racism, I think this is the
superior movie.
superior one.
This movie's fun.
This movie is fun.
Yes.
It's fun to watch, like, in the mindset knowing that, like, little kids watch this back in the day. I mean, people probably don't show it anymore, obviously.
I would not be surprised if they still do.
You think so?
Our education system is not well funded.
Listen, if you are a John Travolta, if you're a Travolting fan, you have kids, or if you're a teacher, or, you know, if you have any experience in the education industry today, let us know. Shoot us an email, comment on our Instagram or Twitter, tweet at us. Do they still play this at middle school?
Yeah, I would be very curious.
I would be
Let us
very
know
curious
if you
to know, because I feel like it's reached just the point where it's a little too old now. You know, can you get it in DVD? Can you?
I don't know.
How'd you watch this movie?
YouTube.
Me too.
So, actually, you know what? I do know that they still show this.
Really?
Because one of the YouTube links for this was... You can get this on DVD. It's $70, though. It's very expensive.
Yeah.
But was that the Martin Luther King Foundation did a live stream of this movie at the beginning of this year for schools.
Wow. Okay.
Um,
And these Gen Zer kids are probably like, what the fuck is this quality? This
Yeah.
ain't Pixar.
it had 16,000 views.
Wow.
But yeah, that's kind of the context of our friend Martin. It's a movie about Martin Luther King.
Yeah. That involves time travel.
Yeah, it was released 3 days before what would have been his 70th birthday.
Wow.
And the plot line is about 2 kids, a black kid and a white kid, named Miles and Randy, voiced by Robert Richard and Lucas Black, star of Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift.
Okay.
The DK Drift King.
I love that.
What a movie.
What a movie that was.
Who time travel back and accidentally save Martin Luther King's life, and as a result, create a racist hellscape in the 21st century.
Yeah.
This movie is kind of bleak.
It's interesting.
Yes.
I mean, it starts off with totally going a very like educational route.
Yes.
Like it doesn't really have. I mean, it's not like the screenwriters were like thinking very deep subtextual metaphoricalness.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a kids movie, and it's not even like a kids movie, like a Toy Story like kids movie where they try to add things for adults. It's really just for kids.
Yes, this is for kids.
It takes directions though that are
interesting,
which we're gonna get into.
The first thing you see in this movie is like it says Ed Asner, and it says cast in alphabetical order, and it says Ed Asner, who like died recently.
Yeah.
Like last week, and I was very sad. R.I.P. Ed Asner.
Yeah.
His final performance will be is the Up like short film on Disney Plus that's coming out, which I feel like I have to listen to.
Yeah.
Or watch. Rest in peace, Ed Asner.
You know, with the bar I was at last night, we're playing Up.
What a
Yeah, I know.
Did everyone weep during the first 10 minutes?
I think we were all too drunk.
That means you weep more.
Well, I didn't realize that Asner died recently.
Yeah.
I've been learning this kind of right now,
Yes,
actually.
he passed away. Santa Claus from Elf. I mean, he was a great actor from a lot of things.
Yeah.
But he's also Santa Claus from Elf and Carl Fredricksen. But aside from him, this movie has a stacked cast. I was like, oh, I forgot all these people are in this.
Yeah.
Every actor ever. Including John Travolta. And then it just kind of starts. It starts with like the ending. There's like a little clip of the ending.
A little clip of the end where like this house that's like broken down slowly morphs back together.
And you see this little, and you see these 2 kids talking.
Yeah.
And one of them, the lead character, Miles, is like, no, Martin, you can't go. And he's like, I must return now.
And he runs into this portal doorway.
And then he morphs into Martin Luther King.
As an adult.
And then you're, ah! and then it just like cuts to our friend Martin, the title, and an eagle soars, and you hear some inspirational music.
Yeah.
And then we start the movie proper.
Yeah. So Miles is going to school.
Yeah, he's an African American kid, and I think fifth. He says fifth grade because he's gonna. Oh no, sixth grade because he's gonna go to seventh.
Okay.
Which I
don't remember that
He's a
detail.
fan of Hank Aaron, and he wants to be a baseball player, but he's focusing too much on baseball and ignoring his schoolwork, and he has poor grades.
Yeah.
And his teacher threatens to have him repeat sixth grade unless his grades get better.
And he says his first chance to do that is his Martin Luther King field trip project.
He has to do a presentation on Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
And so they go on a field trip.
To this museum, which was Martin Luther King's old house.
And he's put into a group with his friend Lucas Black. I can't remember the character's name.
Randy.
Randy. And then Maria and the bully kid.
Yeah.
Whose name I can't remember.
And the school, by the way, is Martin Luther King Jr. Middle School.
Yes. Oh,
that's important to know.
Yeah,
for...
important thing because like we literally just skipped John Travolta's appearance in this movie.
Oh yeah, we did.
But
so the bully.
Yeah, the bully.
There's a bit with this bully where his shirt constantly gets ripped or torn off him.
Yes.
And he's a fat kid too.
He's a big guy.
And so, like, I don't know if the writers were like, we're going to add something for the kids and make fun of a fat kid.
Yeah.
All right, maybe that's what they were doing. I don't know.
But
he's being the bully after he's, like, bullying Miles. He gets driven to school.
He's chasing Miles down the street, and Miles hops in this endangerment school bus. It's like, the school bus is causing public property damage. It's knocking benches and signs over. He jumps in the bus.
Not Miss Frizzle.
And it takes off before the bully can get him, and the bully's shirt is ripped by it. So his dad comes to pick him up. And it's John Travolta.
And it's John Travolta's voice.
Yeah.
And he said the only lines he's like, I can't believe you. I have to take you to school again. Like
he's like, I have to drive you every day. I gotta work. And he's like pretty much just an abusive father.
Yeah, an abusive me. I just wrote down. What did I write down? Travolta voicing a mean dad who smokes.
Yes.
That's what I wrote down.
All right.
Great. So they go to a museum.
You got any thoughts on the hair? Cue the music.
Are we gonna do the hair ranking?
Yeah, of course.
All right, cue the fucking music. All right, welcome to the hair ranking.
I had a picture of this primed for Stuart to rank this hair.
Why you gotta do this to me, man?
You gotta do it.
I mean, first off, it's blonde, and he's got like these two spike fronts, like a widow's peak, kind of. But it's shorter.
He's looking a little rough.
A shorter, blonde, orange, Donald Trumpish hair. Intentional, maybe.
Believe me.
I haven't. I don't know.
Well, you better get ready now because when we get to Bolt, I'm making you rank the fur. So you better get the animation down now.
Well, like, so the animation, I have to comment on the animation style before I can comment on the animation hair. It's very flat animation. Like, it's 2D drawings.
Yes.
So, like, I don't see any depth in the hair. It's just a slightly little frizzled, like, not very well kept.
Yeah.
And it's orange. And it's not real hair. So, like, the craftsmanship that went into it probably wasn't all that well thought out.
But maybe there was more craftsmanship that went in because they had to create the hair from scratch. Think about them apples.
Not really. I think it was just like, the kid character has orange hair, right?
Yeah.
So his dad's going to have orange hair. And it's going to look a little frizzled. Yeah. He's probably a blue-collar worker. That's about it. Pull up the hair ranking. Let me see what this fucking thing is.
It's different.
Because this is our first animated hair we're ranking here. So I
This
feel
will
like
be-
there's
this
a
is one
lot
of two.
responsibility.
We're going to have two.
There's a lot of responsibility with
Yes.
this. Put it above Staying Alive. No, I'm just kidding.
What if I did, though?
No, that would be blasphemy. Go down. Down.
This is a lot of dead air going right now.
Put it below Face Off, above Devil's Reign.
But which face off cage?
Face Off Cage.
Ooh, you're putting it right near the bottom. Because it's not real hair.
Because it's not real hair.
Okay.
But it still beats Devil's Reign and the fucking experts.
The experts is
The experts is a catastrophe.
it's a crime against humanity.
We do not talk about the expert's hair.
It's a crime
That
against
is like
humanity.
he who must not be named Voldemort
Yes.
is the expert's hair.
Oh yeah, that's the hair ranking, I guess.
That's the hair ranking. I can't believe you made me do that. He sidebarred the whole fucking podcast.
Well, you had to.
Okay, yeah, I know. I did.
Okay.
You're right.
There's a lot of '90s vibes going on in this movie.
Yeah.
Like the background, it looks like a Recess
And
or
they're
like a
skateboard.
or like Hey Arnold or something.
Yeah, it does have that like animation style.
And they're skateboarding.
Yeah.
They go to the museum at
And
Martin
the
Luther King's
curator
house.
is voiced by Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah, Whoopi Goldberg. Yes.
Yeah.
His mom is voiced by Angela Bassett,
Yeah.
and we meet Whoopi Goldberg. And yes, my brain just completely collapsed for some reason.
Well, so they're showing them through the place, and then they get to Martin's bedroom.
Yeah.
That has like a little guardrail thing that you can't go
Yeah.
across. But she's like, "You kids should check this place out."
Yeah.
So she lets the kids in.
Yeah.
She's like, "Just remember to be careful on your trip."
Yes.
And she's like winking about it. Like basically, she is Miss Frizzle.
Oh, can we talk about a line that comes a little before this that did not age well?
What?
He's talking about how his grades don't matter, and I can't remember if it's his mom or his teacher. His teacher, voiced by Susan Sarandon, who's like, "Well, if you don't care about your grades, you should tell that to General Colin Powell." Yikes.
Wait, what? What about General?
Well, he was Bush's guy who talked about WMDs, who lied about the WMDs to justify the Iraq War.
What a deep fucking cut, man. Good fucking God. Did you just know that when the line was read,
Yeah.
or did you like,
Yeah.
I don't fucking know that.
Yeah. He also spoke at the DNC last year
Oh.
because he renounced being a Republican because of Trump. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Anyway, what a good reference there.
Yeah, that was an oof line if ever I heard one.
Okay. So, but yeah, they go to the bedroom and
They touch a baseball
they touch a baseball
because
mitt,
he loves baseball.
and there's a watch.
Yeah, and the watch goes, and they get zapped back in time.
They get zapped back in time. To what year? We don't know.
Oh, they got zapped back to 1944. Wait, no, 1941. And they counter 12-year-old Martin.
Did you know it was 41? Are you reading it?
I have,
Because in the
I
movie,
have the timeline.
Okay, the movie they don't like say it though.
I have the timeline.
They
pulled
don't,
up.
but they don't make it clear in the movie what years they're going
Yes.
back to. Because I just knew it was like, oh, like it was Martin when he was a kid, so probably in the 40s or 50s, maybe.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. So yeah, 1941. Martin Luther King Jr. is a. Also, I love the way he introduces himself
Yes.
because he's just like, "Hey, what's your name?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm Martin Luther King."
King.
Junior. it's like well, because Martin Luther King Jr. just like that rolls off the tongue,
Yeah.
and you don't want to do it that way because you want the kid to say it like it doesn't have any meaning behind it quite yet.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like it's like they told the kid actor, say it like the name means nothing to you.
Yes.
This is what the director's saying in the studio recording booth. It's like, all right, and action. My name is Martin Luther King Jr. He's like, that's great, Jeremy. I don't know.
No notes. I have no notes.
I have no notes. So yeah, they meet Martin and they start playing baseball with him.
Yes.
They become best friends right away.
Yeah.
And so,
And they're all like, "Wow, Martin, you're pretty cool."
and they don't listen. I'm not going to get into a time travel whole bit about this, where it's
I
like,
think that's exactly what you're about to do.
well, it's like these kids are from 1999, and they're in 6th grade. Martin Luther is also like around the same age group range, 12 years old, and would be in 6th
Yeah.
grade. And he's not asking like, "What are you guys wearing?
Mm-hmm.
What are you wearing?
Yeah.
Why are you talking like that?
They just gonna go with it.
Why are you?" They just go with it, like it's totally fine. So they play baseball, and then they get interrupted by this racist mom.
Yeah, he was like, "You shouldn't be playing with the."
And by the way,
white-
this is rated G racism.
Yes.
Like, not.
Yes.
Yeah. This isn't like 12 Years a Slave.
This is racism for kids.
This isn't 12 Years a Slave racism. This isn't Django Unchained
Yes.
racism.
This is making it palatable for kids.
Yeah. They call them like colored.
Yes. Because that's the word.
Because that's the word.
Of the time.
Right, of the time. That's palpable. In other words they would use.
But Martin kind of talks to Brandy and Miles about how, like, you know, his dad teaches him, like, confront things with love instead of hate.
Yeah.
And then there's
watch out for the bettering of mankind or whatever.
And they're zapped to... They pick up a toy train, and that zaps them to the next thing.
And they're on a train.
They're on a train with 14-year-old Martin Luther King, or 15-year-old.
Yeah, it's like 2-3 years or whatever.
2 or 3 years later.
Yeah.
And he's on a segregated train line.
Yeah. And like Randy gets told, it's like, don't you, by the train conductor.
Yeah.
Who's voiced by
Danny Glover.
Danny Glover, yeah.
Yes.
Very short, small
and
role.
Martin Luther King at this age is voiced by Jaleel White, Urkel.
Yeah.
Also Sonic the Hedgehog, apparently. I had no idea.
Oh, I didn't know that either. Yeah, that's where, like, you know, every time they travel back, they get like increments of racism and then it's not till the very end where it all combines together into a horrible place.
Yes.
But it's in this part of the movie when they're in this like segregated train car, and they don't make too much of a fuss about it. Like they're like, hey, like, why aren't we allowed in there? Like, it's just kind of like, oh, like train conductor told Randy, it's like, hey, don't you want to be in here? It's like, oh, I want to be here with my friends.
Yeah.
Kind of like innocently played off.
And Danny Glover's just like, he does the Danny Glover thing where he walks on, these fucking kids. He's like, I'm too. No, he does.
He says fucking kids.
He doesn't say fucking kids, but he essentially
He's
he's the I'm too old for this shit.
I don't think he says shit either. But anyway,
but they have dinner with Martin's family afterward,
and
the dad voiced by James Earl Jones, who brings the whole octave down. Like, like they walk into the room.
My God,
they walk into the room and they're all just like talking. And he's like, hello. I was like, whoa.
Well, it's like if you had a subwoofer sound system in a TV, like everybody,
the best voice,
all the voice characters, all very high pitched.
Yeah,
and so it's only the first time when you get to this part in the movie when then James Earl Jones starts talking like hello, and it's like, whoa,
the best voice of all time.
The mother, and of course, it's like talking with the reverence of Mufasa himself.
Yes, and they do kind of a Mufasa thing later.
They do.
It's very strange.
They do. I think I wrote that down too.
Yeah.
So then they
then travel again like 20 years.
Yeah. Well, they go to his room.
Yeah.
And then they time travel again back to or no, they travel to his room and they time travel again.
Well, first they go to the Montgomery bus boycott.
Yes, and that's where LeVar Burton
is voicing
MLK. So they see him. He's an adult. He's a minister, and this is where there's like the bus boycott is happening.
Yes, and Sam Jackson's voicing
Tanner.
Tanner.
It's just like a random guy.
I think it's a real like person. Let me look this up because I don't want to get Turner. He's voicing Turner. He's just like his like friend and help.
Yeah, because he's like saying they're like angry about.
It also must be said Martin Luther King's sister in the previous scene is voiced by MLK's actual daughter, Yolanda King.
Cool.
So this was a co-production with the Martin Luther King family.
Yeah,
and Oprah is voicing his mother.
Yeah,
along with several other people.
So then Martin's house gets bombed, and they go there, and this is when there's a lot of angry folks, and they're talking about like fighting back, and Martin Luther at the time is like, no,
it's not about fighting. We must, Gandhi, and there's like a big mural of Gandhi.
Yeah.
It's also just a lot of times this movie will. When Martin Luther King is talking, it cuts to archival footage.
Yes.
For like little montages.
So I have a question about that. Because I watched just one of the random free YouTube videos.
Yeah.
But every time it cut to like old stock footage,
stock footage
was fine. It went silent.
It only goes silent when it's an actual MLK speech.
Right.
Because I guess they don't have the rights to it, to put it on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. So that happened on my
So that happened a few times.
Yeah. I imagine if you watched it in middle school, they probably had an official version where you could hear the actual speeches. Get that shit out of my face. I don't want to talk about that right now.
The best movie ever.
E.T. so much fucking better.
But yeah, it's how his wife and daughter escape unharmed from the bombing, and he stops it from being violent.
Yeah.
Isn't it? I mean, like this is all great, but isn't it funny we have to talk about this because John Travolta had 3 lines earlier in the movie.
Yep.
Um,
It's probably going to be a quick episode, folks.
Yeah.
So then they time travel again, and this time back to the...
well, first they see a riot, and they see the police committing violence on black protesters.
Yeah.
And then they travel back, having seen and they're like, oh my god. So they go back to school, and Miss Clark is very impressed by them.
By how much that they know.
Yes.
And then they start to see video footage
Of them
at
the riot.
At the riots. Like, don't they just look just like? He was like, that's impossible.
And then Maria and the bully kid, Kyle. His name's Kyle.
They
apparently.
follow them.
They're like, I think they got a secret.
And so they go back to Martin's house to his room
Yeah.
because they're going to go time travel.
And Whoopi is like, yeah, make sure you wind the watch.
Yeah.
Wind the
Wink,
watch.
wink, wink.
And they travel to the March on Washington.
Yep.
And they hear I Have a Dream, which was cut out in
Yeah.
terms of audio, but we all know the speech. It's
Right.
one of the great speeches of human history.
Yeah. And then it's shortly after they find out about the MLK assassination.
Yeah. 'Cause
And
apparently these kids somehow not know he died.
apparently not. Apparently they didn't know anything about
apparently
MLK
very
before
bad
6th grade.
students.
Apparently anything before 6th grade, they did not learn
Yes.
anything about
At
MLK
Martin
at all.
Luther King Jr. Elementary School. He had no idea.
They had no idea that he, died.
Yes, they had
and
no
got
idea.
killed.
They're like, what? He dies?
What? I thought he lived. He was still
Yeah.
alive.
So they time travel back to 1941 to his 12-year-old self to rescue him.
to rescue him.
They
and
bring him to the present.
And
and then
boy, is everything different.
Back to the Future Part 2 happens.
Yes, indeed.
The past has been changed. They live in Biffland or Biff City. Biff Valley. That's what
Biff Valley, America.
Yeah, Biff Valley. Where
And-
everything is awful.
Everything's awful.
Everyone's racist.
Everyone's
it's Robert E. Lee.
Oh, I was gonna say it's Robert E. Lee Middle School.
It's like, oh my god.
Randy and Kyle
Are now racist.
full blown racist.
I also want to point out that the kid whose shirt keeps getting ripped, his shirt never fits on him.
Yeah.
It takes him going to the I Have a Dream speech to get a shirt that fits. After that, he has a shirt that fits.
Interesting.
I don't know why he just didn't buy a bigger shirt in the present. Why did he have to time travel to get a fitting? I don't know.
Who
Anyway.
knows? So
everything's bad. Ed Asner kicks them out of the school
Yep.
because he's the principal. And then, they're running around and they essentially tell Martin Luther King that,
It's like every example of what they had seen in the past of racism is happening now. So they
Yes.
can't get on the bus to go to school. They're being bullied by younger white kids.
Yeah.
They can't get into the school itself.
yeah.
They're being kicked out of the school. They can't drink out of the same drinking fountain. Like everything from the 60s is still the same.
And they go back to, and Miles' family's poor
Yeah.
because his mom could never get a job
She works as a maid.
instead of a business owner, which she was in
Right.
the normal 1999.
Yeah.
Marty, something happened with the timeline. It is alternate 1985. We gotta find out. He's like, oh, let me ask him.
We got to go back.
Doc, are you
can we go
telling
back
me-
to the future?
Are you telling me you built a time machine out of a historical house? Out of a national parks monument, Doc?
Can you imagine? Like, of all the places a time machine could be.
Of course, I figured if you're gonna build a time machine, why not do it somewhere with some historical relevance?
What the fuck? Oh god. I mean, the time travel device is the watch, though.
What if the kid had walked up to Ed Asner's bully principal or something, like, "Hey, you, get your damn hands off her."
He can't talk to you that way.
Darth Vader came to me from the planet Vulcan and said he melt my brain.
I'm loving all the Back to the Future bits we're adding into this.
Because this is essentially Biff Valley.
It really is, though.
And Ed Asner's like, it's funny. He told me 2 kids might come asking questions. Never expected it'd be you.
So anyway, Martin and Miles, they all stop it. Please.
No, keep going. Keep going. That's the end.
All right. I dialed down your volume.
I noticed.
Just throughout all that.
I was doing the Back to the Future Part 3 thing.
I know you were.
Yeah.
I know you were.
You know I was.
I know you were. Anyway, after that incident at the house, Martin and Miles go outside.
Yeah.
And there's a short little moment.
Yes.
When Martin looks up at the clouds.
And
who does he see?
his dad forms out of the clouds. It's so specifically the Lion King shot.
The Lion King
And
Mufasa thing.
He's like, remember who you are.
Uncle Bob?
Uncle Bob is back.
No, Uncle Bob is back.
What if he looked in the cloud and Uncle Bob just appeared? He's like,
Uncle Bob, I don't know if I can win the bull riding contest. I'm so scared.
But no, it's James Earl Jones as his dad, and he's like, remember, it's about being
like doing the good thing for the betterment of
Yes.
humanity here, or something
and that's
like
what
that.
matters.
Yeah, and that's what matters.
And Martin makes the realization that for the future to be good, he has to die.
He doesn't say that. He doesn't know that he's going to die.
It's very subtext. It's very
It's very
textual.
subtextual because he says like I have to go back, and then Miles is like, no, like you can't go back
Yeah, and-
because I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want to.
Like, Marty, no!
And then
knowing too much about your own future.
Right. Yep. And so then Martin starts to walk into the house, and the house forms back up.
And as he walks through, it's the scene from the beginning where he ages back up.
Yeah,
and then it's just
from
him on the Memphis, like the hotel balcony. A gunshot cuts to black.
Cuts to black.
Yeah. It's very bleak. I mean, it's historic. It's telling you the history, and it's how it happened. And history is often bleak, as we know.
Remind me, I have a story to tell you about a script I was going to write about something after this podcast. I can't talk about it.
Yeah, obviously you don't want to blow your secrets.
No.
But
anyway, so then everything goes back to normal.
Everything goes back to normal, and Miles delivers his presentation,
and he gets an A.
Yeah, and he gets an A, and everything's great. And and the bully is now a friend of his.
Yeah.
We never see John Travolta again.
Nope.
And then
and that's the movie.
Yeah.
That's our friend Martin. Very educational for little kids.
And then they realize, like, they've forever altered the timeline.
Wait, what?
No, I'm just messing around.
I thought you were going to go on a really long bit about something.
I was tempted to do a bit, but I've decided against it.
You decided that it's 8:30.
Yes,
we
I've
both have
decided
to be up in 10 hours.
Yes. Yeah, that's our friend Martin. This movie comes out. It's had a long-lasting legacy.
Yeah, it has.
The soundtrack for it was also successful. It has a bunch of like 90s like rap or R&B covers of popular songs. Oh yeah, that's any final thoughts on our friend Martin?
It was a great trip down memory lane.
Yeah, it was a good reminder of middle school.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that this movie has a sort of relevance. It's good to know that something with as good aims as this kind of still has a lasting legacy.
Yeah.
And that in the long run, it does help some people learn about Martin Luther King and his tremendous impact.
Yeah.
I'm glad John Travolta got to be a part of it
and redeem himself of slightly.
Yes, of White Man's Burden.
Mm-hmm. Which is a movie I would not recommend people watching.
Yes, but we did the hair ranking. There's no box office for this movie. It gets good reviews. One's an Emmy, and thank you all for listening to this episode on Our Friend Martin. Make sure to tune in next week for our episode on The General's Daughter, a movie that definitely exists. Make sure to rate, review, subscribe on whatever platform you're listening on. As a reminder, we are available on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Find us at Travolting Pod on Twitter or Instagram for updates and fun stuff. Pop into our Reddit, r/Travolting. Email any comments or questions at travoltingpodcast@gmail.com. Find me on Twitter at Jeff W. Sweeney.
Find me on Instagram at Stuart195.
Special thanks to Rebecca Johnson for our graphic design and Michael Van Bodegum Smith for our theme music. Have a great week, folks. See you next time.
Bye.